I also think that it's a question of degree. Like we have 2 daughters, and I constantly try to do what I can to have them understand that you make whatever choices you want to make with your life romantically. I'm never in a great rush to talk about it. And I know that there's something sexist about that because I'll talk to my son about it. I'm not so crazy about talking to my daughters, but whatever. I'm flawed. And I say, just make sure you're making choices for you. That if you want to wear that, you wear it, but don't wear it because you think that that's what some guy expects of you. And I think it's really important for anybody is that you're living your own truth, as you say. You use the word truth about what you're saying and why you believe there's value to it. And that's what I say. You want to date this guy, that's fine, but not because you feel that he is some kind of measure of your own worth. I think that's important for women to not be defined by who they are with. And I think that's important for men to not be defined by who they are with. I just wish there was more space to it. And I don't see it as weakness or towing the line. I think the reason that my wife is still with me is because she knows I'm desperate to get better. And I have a sense of desperation about self-improvement. One of the upsides of fucking up a lot.
Isn't that interesting, huh?
And the second part is I find humor in a lot of things in life. And that works for her. That we laugh a lot. We laugh a lot even when we should be crying. And I think there's something to that. So I think that's the match. Now, I look at those things as a function of my strength. I know what it's like to get hit. I know what it's like to get hit with a bare fist. I know what it's like to get hit with a stick. And I know what it's like to get hit with an insult and a judgment that is much more painful than any beating I've ever taken. And I've had at least 100 stitches put in my head and my neck. So I think that's a function of my strength. And to other men, very often they'll say to me, especially if they're alpha type guys, man, you got a lot of beta in you. You got a lot of, how you feel and that this is hard and different guys. I see that all as parts of strength. The vulnerability could be strength. Me telling you that I have a problem is strength. It's a big problem with mental health with men, right? Very few of your buddies may call you up. I don't know your friend circle, but to be like, holy cow, I could barely get up today. And it's not because I was deadlifting 500 pounds yesterday. It's because I don't know, I think I got like a wave of depression coming on or something. We don't talk like that. I just wish we did.
There's so many things to unpack in there, like waves of depression and, how your wife looks at you and the concept of you being beta. I think the guys in my inside circle, because again, I said like I didn't know who Chris was, and they summed you up as your typical New York liberal, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is really. I mean, I know what a liberal is, and I've been in New York, so I'm not really sure what this guy is. Because, when you messaged me, you said, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. And I wasn't sure who you were, So, we kind of went back and forth. And I thought, okay, this guy seems all right. Let's have a conversation. Because I'm always suspicious of people when they ask me, I want to have a conversation about what you talk, and they're from the media, right? They're usually disingenuous, and it's to frame you.
That's not my thing.
Yeah, no.
And I'm no New York liberal either.
Okay. So I see you as a guy that's physically strong and important, dominant, and, like as a leader in that regard and sense. And you said something very, very interesting. You said that you're on this constant pursuit of self-improvement.
Constant.
Right? And if you go through my videos and my content, I mentioned in my book in a few places too, I always tell guys, you can't relax as a man.
Right.
You cannot relax in life as a man. You can't get married, take your nuptials, put your feet up and watch sports and sit there all day and end up with Cheeto dust on your shirt, not doing anything with your life outside of work. Women expect you to do something with your life, with your spare time. Like you have to chase excellence as a man. It's funny. I was talking to this baseball player. He's an MLB baseball player a couple of weeks ago. He reached out to me, said, I like your shit. I want to, get together and have a conversation. So I did. And, he was telling me, he's got 3 rings. He was telling me that he was sitting on his couch one day and his wife said to him, what are you doing? Why are you just sitting there? This is a man who's world class in his realm of life, has retired and has decided to put his feet up and take a nap. And he said, I'm taking a nap. Everything you see here, I paid for, you see. And I think it's okay. I think it's absolutely okay for guys to be a little bit arrogant like that and, set some frame and some boundaries in the relationship. And I think women want to test those to see that they're looking at a guy that is their best option, that is the best that they can do, because that's how they look at you. They see you as more than just a husband.
Right.
They see you as more than just that. So sure, are you going to get criticisms of being called a beta? I'm sure people will call you every name under the sun, and you're used to it just like I am. It's like water off a duck's back at some point because you know who you are. And that level of competency and structure that you have in your mind and the way you hold yourself out is understood by people that get it, and especially the ones that you want to get it. Like I said earlier, when I looked you up, I didn't know who you were. And I said, okay, who is this guy, Chris? And the first thing that came to mind is I'd have a beer with that guy. He looks like the kind of guy that I could sit down with, right? So we do judge people, and one of the things that you kind of alluded to during our conversation here is, should we be judging people? Is it right? Can we get past those things and just sort of like let people be as they want to be, sort of thing? And I think there's certain areas in life, like I'm a bit of a libertarian, like just do your thing, just don't hurt anybody, right? Like, I think it's okay, for stuff like that, but we do judge people, and it's why we have to take ownership and do the work on ourselves as men, and, go out there and it doesn't matter how big of it is, but you have to go out there and put a little dent in the universe, whether it's big or small. I think Steve Jobs said this, about his Apple business, but you have to go out there and you have to put a little bit of a dent in the universe and do something of some significance. So women appreciate that.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think one of the greatest values I see in what you're doing is that message of, one, you rarely have anybody to blame but yourself.
And that notion, sorry to interrupt you, but that notion of taking ownership, I think, is a lost art. Very, very few people today will take ownership for the results that they get in their lives. And I think that is something that our grandparents and great-grandparents had infused in the fabric of society and culture, within us. And it seems like that has been removed. They want you to be a victim because it's easier to be a victim, because when you're a victim, you have some sort of oppressor. And then that's when culture, society, media, like all of these things, we'll call it collectively the matrix or something, just a placeholder on whatever it is we want. But that's what is the disservice, to society in general, is we have this general victim mindset. Oh, poor me. I've got these results because of insert, whoever hurt them, sort of thing. And it's like, no, that's not the way that it should work. And we should remove the victim mindset from society, not infuse it into it.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.